Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Tuesday, the 20th of December 2022. In today's Millwall news, it has come to pass that we have a bit more information about the possible Crystal Palace loanee coming from Crystal Palace, leaving Charlton and joining Millwall. And this is from a bit better source than Alan Nixon. Alan Nixon? Can we say he's probably kind of dropped off and he's not the most reliable source anymore? I don't know about that, but the one source that is reliable is Mr. Richard Corley from the South London Press, aka the London News on.co.uk website. The reason being, he has worked at this place for a long time. He has connections to Millwall, and he also has connections to Charlton and Crystal Palace. Three South London clubs involved in this possible deal. And if you look on the right hand side of this website, when I make my videos, you can see, if you look on the graphics around the screen, you can see this website gets the top 10 viewed articles for them are nearly always Charlton stories. I think the News at Den has kind of siphoned off and taken away a lot of their Millwall viewers, so the Millwall fans go off and go over to that, and it seems the Charlton fans are mainly looking at the South London Press. So if anyone would know what was going on with this deal, it would be Richard Corley and the South London Press. So they put out this story today with a bit more detail than what we saw yesterday in yesterday's video. So let's have a read of and see what is happening and see if we can figure out what is happening. So, Crystal Palace loanees Charlton stay set for January review as Millwall link explained. Jesurun Rak-Sakyi's future is set to come under the spotlight next month, with Crystal Palace holding the option to abort his loan stay at Charlton. The 20-year-old winger joined the Addicks on August 11th and has been a mainstay on the side. The Eagles are able to review his situation in January, standard practice for any Premier League club who agree temporary outgoing deals. So he said that twice there, so we know they have the option to cancel the deal in January. For whatever reason, it doesn't say due to injuries, due to whatever, they literally can just say, okay, we're calling him back. Millwall and Hull City have been linked with Rak-Sakyi, who has been capped in England under the 20 level and signed a new long-term contract with Palace before being allowed out on loan. So there, that line means he's out on loan to get experience to come back in the Palace team. He's not out on loan to get his name out there to prove so that he can then leave. It's not an exit loan. They've signed him on a long-term contract. They want him to develop and then come back to Crystal Palace. The Lions are monitoring Rak-Sakyi as they do any players loaned out to the EFL by top flight clubs, but any talk they will move for the South Londoner is mightily premature. Palace's decision making is also set to be partly hinged on the managerial and ownership situation in SE7. Charlton are set to appoint Dean Holden as their new head coach today. Former Eagles first team coach Ben Garner was appointed in the summer, but the former Swindon Town and Bristol Rovers boss was sacked at the start of this month. There are also a number of parties interested in acquiring the club off of Thomas Sandgaard, the US-based Dane, who is in the UK ahead of Wednesday's EFL Cup tie against Brighton. Although he has never publicly confirmed he is open to completely selling, but has indicated recently he would look at outside investment. So we know what we gather from this story from a source closer to all of the clubs involved than Alan Nixon, no disrespect, is that yes, Charlton yes, Crystal Palace can abort the loan. It doesn't need to be for any reason. It's just it can be changed and cancelled at any time during the transfer window. But it does say Millwall do look at him. Are looking at him, but because they look at players who are loaned out by Premier League clubs to leagues lower than themselves, so that following season, if the club wants to loan them out again to a club at a higher level, Millwall can go to them and say, hello, we're at a higher level. Can we loan this player, please? And then they do or they don't. And one player, that happened in the summer, remember? You've been watching the videos for a while, you all know. Elliot Anderson, does that name ring a bell? We were linked with him. Newcastle United youngster, Scottish lad, on loan at Bristol Rovers last season, was one of the best players in League Two for Bristol Rovers last season. Spent the whole season there. We came in for him, so we were watching him because we knew that if they were to loan him out again this season, we could say, oh, we're in the Championship, loan him to us. They didn't loan him out because I looked at him and said, well, what's he up to now? Who did they loan him to? They didn't loan him to anyone. He stayed at Newcastle, so maybe it might be an idea if we try and loan him because he hasn't been playing that much. So Elliot Anderson, we were linked with him in the summer, attacking midfielder, very decent player. He's only started 2 League Cup games, come off the bench 7 times in the Premier League. So he's only played 259 minutes at Newcastle United. An outside right, and look at those strengths. Who wouldn't want all of that? Through balls, key passes, dribbling, finishing, passing, aerial duels. Yes, please. And if we go up and look at his games so far this season, you can see Tranmere played 85 minutes. And then other than that, well, the last EFL Cup game that they came through on penalties against Crystal Palace, he played 78 minutes in that. But you can see he's not playing a lot of time. So, and Newcastle United are technically in a title race. It's probably hard to believe at this early stage of their outside investment from the Saudis, but they are in a title race. And they are looking to strengthen. They will be spending millions and millions and millions in this January transfer window. So young Elliot could find himself getting fewer and fewer chances to feature for Newcastle United. So maybe we might want to go back in for him and try and get him on loan. Although he did not play in their cup game today, League Cup game against Bournemouth. I believe he is injured at the moment. So as long as it's not a serious injury, maybe we should consider getting him on loan rather than a lad playing for Charlton in League One. So I just thought I would share that. So that's kind of cleared up the Rak-Sakyi situation from Richard Corley, an insider at both Charlton and Millwall. Moving on now to the next game, Watford on Boxing Day. Just a reminder, as usual with Millwall away games, this needs to be military position planned. You cannot just rock up and buy a ticket. It doesn't work like that. And not only that, you need to do it well in advance because obviously it's Christmas. The ticket office is probably going to be closed on Friday or something because the tickets will go off sale at 2 p.m. on Thursday. So you have until then to buy it. You need to collect it. If you go there before 2 p.m. on Thursday, you can collect it. After that, they're going to send it to Watford, so you're going to have to go to Watford on Boxing Day and get your ticket from them. But if you're thinking, I'm in an orange, shall I go? Can I go? I don't know what the wife's plans are. I might be able to go, but I might not. I don't know what's going on. I believe it is on the Sky Red button, but if you do want to go, you might. You're going to have to figure it out either Wednesday or Thursday morning if you're going to buy a ticket. There are tickets that are still available, 1,996, and coaches are being put on by the club because of Boxing Day. Not a lot going on, and if you've had a drink on Christmas Day, you certainly don't want to be driving up there. There you go. That's all the details. Remember, you've got to get it done by Thursday at 2 p.m. And that's how it is. Everything's got to be in advance. All ticket members, season ticket holders. That's the way it is for us now as football fans. But like I said, it will be available on the Sky Sports button. We're still waiting to see if match passes will be available. I'm not too sure. It is technically a Monday game, but I don't know. So we'll wait and see on that one. Talking early injury news about that game from southwarknews.co.uk. Benica Fobi and Ryan Leonard will make it back in time to face Watford, although Callum Styles is set to miss their Boxing Day clash at Vicarage Road. Millwall are optimistic that their latest batch of injury issues will not prove to be overly serious. The Lions were forced to train at Den last week after their training ground Calmont Road was snowed under on Monday. As a result, the first team squad were practicing on a much harder pitch than they were used to, with some players pulling up during the sessions before their trip to Luton Town was postponed. Well, that's not good. Rao admitted that the injured players, who he didn't name, may have been doubts for the scheduled trip to Kenilworth Road on Sunday morning, but he's hopeful that they will be raring to go ahead of travelling to Watford on Boxing Day. We've had 3 or 4 calf issues because we've had to train on the pitch at the Den all week, he told News at Den. The pitch is quite a lot firmer than the training pitches, so you get a few complications with that, quite a few tight calves, but hopefully nothing too untoward, nothing too sinister. If the game went ahead on Sunday, we would have had a call on 1 or 2 players, but hopefully they'll be fine. It's just a few complications when you can get on the normal training pitches, just adds a little bit of an issue. Benica Fobi and Ryan Leonard remain ruled out after picking up serious knocks earlier in the campaign, although Routers are hopeful that they could feature at Vicarage Road on December the 26th. 6 days away, so maybe not. On the other hand, Callum Styles is unlikely to make it back in time to face the Hornets, as he continues to recover from his calf injury. They're sort of day to day, really, the Millwall boss said of a phobia. If they progress as they are, then we sort of know when they'll be back, but we'll be taking it with a kid's glove approach because they've obviously been out for a while. It hasn't been plain sailing. Other than that, it gives them another week to be another week closer. Whether it's ready for the game or a week nearer to playing, it'll be a good thing either way. Yes. So, what I would say is, in terms of Benica Fobi, maybe the Bristol City game, I'm sure they don't want to jump in against Watford away. Our away form is dog shit, and Watford have, now that they've got a decent manager who knows what they're doing, they're on fire, they're all guns blazing, and it doesn't look good to be honest, for Millwall travelling up to Vicarage Road on Boxing Day, which is funny, because I've just told you about the ticket details, but it doesn't look good. I don't think we won there once in 20 years since the New Year's Day on 2002. It's not a happy hunting ground for Millwall. So I imagine they wouldn't want to jump into that game after coming back from injury. Bristol City game, especially with Bennett with his links to that club, be probably more of a enticing atmosphere for them to come back to. I'm sure there'll be a sellout then for that one on Thursday the 29th. So now moving on, we're going to end the video by looking at a match report and some stuff from the FA Youth Cup game the other day, yesterday. Millwall under 18s were defeated 6-0 by Arsenal in the FA Youth Cup third round on Monday night. Larry McAvoy and Chris Perry were able to fill the main essay against the Gunners. The likes of goalkeeper George Evans, Finn Cotton and Henry Hearn, who have all appeared in the Lions under 21 setup, also elected to start. The young Lions started well against the 7-time competition winners, with Evans pulling off a fantastic double save in the opening minute. Jimmy Gower striking the 14th minute opened the scoring for the hosts. Evans was able to make 2 more good goal-saving stops with the score at 1-0, but he was powerless to help as Ethan Nwaneri funded an effort in off the post in the 27th minute to double Arsenal's lead. Michael Rosiak made it 3 on the half-hour mark before goals from Mario Kozia Dubry and a double from Amari Benjamin ended the scoring in the second half. Millwall's under-18s returned to Professional Development League action on Saturday the 7th of January as they travel to Ipswich Town looking to regain top spots. So they've got a bit of a Christmas break now. Good luck to them. Plenty of time to get over that and crack on in the league. So here we go. This is the team here. Evans Ogyman, Olagbudi, Cotton, Horsley McKay, that's one name, Stevenson, Essay, Massey, Earn, Coleman, Amuchim, and the subs were Cheeseman, Howland, and Donaldson. Subs not used were Preswosny, Baker, Machiocha, and Hayward. And Olagbody and Stevenson were booked, so there you go. And yeah, bit of a tough task, but we move on. And we got the manager now, talking about what happened. I'm sure he's gonna he can't be too hard on them, can he? Chris Perry labelled Millwall under-18s FA Youth Cup tie at Arsenal as a really good test for his young age group. Alongside joint manager Larry McAvoy, Perry led his side into a meeting with the 7-time competition winners Boreham Woods Meadow Park, eventually slipping to a 6-0 loss. However, there were positives to take from the fixture with the Gunners, the manager told millwallfc.co.uk. It was a really good test for us to see where everyone's at, he said. Arsenal were excellent, but we probably gave them too much respect in the first half. There's a couple of the lads who froze a little bit and we won ourselves. At 3-0 down at half time, it's hard to come back against a side of that quality. However, after the break, I thought we showed some real positive performances. We looked as though we might sneak a goal, but we gave away a poor fourth, and the game has gone. As always, and interesting to see. So 10 minutes after that fourth goal, he started to make the substitution. So he obviously just wanted to see out the game, gave some other players some game time and stuff like that. As always, though, the boys showed great character to keep going and never let their heads drop. George Evans was outstanding in goal for us. He had to be. It's a good one for our boys to see where they need to be to get to that level. The Lions returned to professional development league action new year, ready to keep up their assault. Top spot at Ipswich Town are the next opposition on 7th January. Romain Esse, who featured against Arsenal, has shown that there is a clear pathway through the ranks at the Den. We're doing really well in the league at the moment. We don't play teams of this quality on a regular basis, though. Romain is a good example that there is a pathway to the first team through the under-21s. He showed glimpses tonight, even though it was very difficult for him. He's an excellent player, as are some of the boys here. Now, tonight is all about the mental reaction to this defeat. It's a big game under the floodlights, which the boys don't play in that often. It's how they react and how we learn. That is the key, indeed. That is the key. There's no embarrassment. I mean, I've said it before, these players have come from all around the world. They bring them in from all around the world. You've got players that played for the Arsenal first team on the Saturday in the Juventus friendly. You've got players who played in the Europa League in an under-18s team. I mean, so don't be too sad and bad about losing 6-0. Just keep on keeping on and learn from this. And we're going to finish now by just scrolling through the pictures from the game. And I'm sure it didn't help that they kept fucking them around with the game. The game was going to be on Saturday night, and then they moved it to Saturday lunchtime, then they moved it to Monday night. So I'm sure that didn't help. So there you go. I think that's it. Millwall under 18s there. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.